for it.
Now, Sam sent a note that because schools were closed tomorrow, he is jiggering his work schedule. He'll be on shortly, but there are 4 of us here. So, seeing the presence of a quorum, it is 7:02 p.m. on Monday, January 26th, and I'd like to call the meeting of the Select Board to order. Roll call vote in the order that I see you. Wes.
Present.
And Priya.
Present.
And Bob.
Present.
And Kristen is present. Okay, you guys are going to have to give me a little grace because we haven't done. Oh, here's Sam. I thought I let him in. Joining. Sam, if you say present, we're all good. We literally just called the meeting to order.
Present. Can you hear me?
Beautiful.
Yeah, we got you, Sam.
I was struggling to unmute there.
All good. Okay, so before we get started, I haven't had to run a Zoom meeting for a long time, so give me some grace, please. And, I still want to have our usual conversational meeting, but if it gets hectic, we will have to just go to raising your hands. And honestly, guys, it's mostly because I'd have to pay attention to whose hands are up and I get distracted. So, all right. So as is our custom, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you would like to join me, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. What's that? To the republic, which is stands. It's not going to work. Okay. All right. I'll hail the American flag. Done. Moving right along.
That's probably the wrong thing to say right now. I just want to throw that out there.
I'm sorry. You're right, Wes. Well, I love America. What can I say? I don't know. I pledge allegiance.
There's a lot of other things that you should just say. I will take a moment to recognize.
I don't think I said God bless America. I'm out. I'm out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Wes. So, what did I forget? Oh, thank you. Yummy. Arancini. Okay. First up, public input. Comments from residents on non-agenda items limited to 2 minutes per speaker at my discretion. Does anybody have anything they'd like to chat about tonight? Okay. Does anybody see any hands? I do not.
No.
Okay. All right. Next up, Board of Assessors. Now I saw Jennifer Barrett is here. I saw Jim Howie is here. Jennifer Jones is here also. Can we take all of them? Do they all have the right, Judy, to turn on their microphone?
I'm working on it right now. I don't see Jennifer Barrett.
Am I here? She was?
No, she's already on.
You're right there. She's already there. All right.
Perfect. Okay. Well, first up, I want to thank all of you for raising your hand and being willing to be on the Board of Assessors. And one of the first things we have to figure out before we go anywhere is there are staggered terms. One of you will be appointed until June of this year. One of you will be appointed for 2 years, so June of next year, and one of you for 3 years. So if you have a preference, let me know. Quite frankly, whoever's only appointed for 6 months, unless something absolutely horrible happens, it's not like you won't be reappointed. It would give you a chance to change your mind with that if you'd like. But do have that in the back of your mind. Have you all had a chance to read the charter, and are you comfortable with it? And do you have any questions?
Hey, Kristen, I have a question. It's Mike.
Sure. Hi, Mike.
I'm wondering, since we're less than 6 months away from appointments, I'm wondering if we could go like 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5 instead of.
I don't know why we couldn't.
Yeah, I think that give them a chance to get going if nobody's opposed. Because like 5 months isn't even they're gonna just be getting organized.
So Mike, you know what? So Mike, you're suggesting that the first term be June 30th of 28.
Yeah, so starting immediately from appointment, but instead of doing the reappointment this spring, start the first reappointment the following spring. So it gives almost 1.5 years.
Okay.
So it would be actually 2027, 2028, and 2029. Let me just go through the candidates and see if they have a preference. And it's going to be in the order that I see you.
So
Jim,
I do have a comment.
Oh, sure.
I do have a comment.
Yeah.
I might be opposed to it because I think that if we do the half a month, then 1.5 month, then that way, because we only got, I don't want to detract from the candidates that we got, but other people may become aware and may become interested. And if we're blocking people from a year and a half from trying to join the board of the board.
Board of Assessors
that
this
may
year?
be discouraged. Yeah. And so, I think if we do a half year, sorry, I'm eating my second dinner.
Totally fine.
I got a doner kebab. It's amazing.
Well, I have arancini, so yeah.
Oh yeah, no, the doner kebab is, if you ever go to Europe and go to Germany or Switzerland or whatever,
Yeah.
get your doner. But I just want to make sure that it's accessible, because I also don't think that people will become aware of it. My hypothesis is that people will not become aware of it, but I do not want to preemptively prevent people from competing for a position making that the best for the town. And so I don't want to I'm not saying that nobody here that stepped up is unqualified or less qualified, but it may raise awareness of the positions available, and it may breed competition, and I don't want to be accused of preventing possible positions open, I guess is the best way to put it.
Anybody else on the board have thoughts?
I mean, I kind of see both. I mean, I see Wes's point. I don't know if someone's going to jump on board, but on the same hand, I don't want to prevent someone who wants to jump on board. And then if somebody does want to get off, they don't feel weird that they got to get off, in 6 months. So I think, Kristen, to your comment, let's ask the three members what their preference is. If someone's like a little hesitant, then that would be the shortest one, and then we can just go forward. So I think if I had to choose, I think I agree with Wes.
Priya?
So I'm just trying to understand what are you saying, Wes? Should we go with originally what we decided, like 6 months, year and a half,
I was
and
saying
2.5?
I was saying 6 months, like the 1 and then the 2, and then that way it can be the 6 month. If somebody's interested in the next 6 months, we can consider the next person, and that's totally fine if it stays the same person. But I just want to we're trying to get this off the ground, and I see that need, but I don't want to block us for a year and a half, or the town, for a year and a half of preventing interest. And I'm not trying to do that. Yeah.
Dan, what do you think?
Does the charter require reappointment in June, June 30th, whatever it is? And is that something that we can change and just have it be, February 1st or whatever?
No, that's the appointment schedule. It's the fiscal schedule for Massachusetts when we do the appoint-a-thons.
Yeah.
All of our appointments run through the end of the fiscal year.
I want to throw this out here. First of all, we've been advertising, and we're so grateful to have 3 interested parties. The assessor is going to spend the next 6 months training them because it's brand new. So my concern is that if we don't do a year and a half, the first go around, we get everybody trained and on board. They're not actually going to be seeing abatements or anything like that, because that's in a specific time period. So they're not even going to have a lot to do beyond training. So my concern is if we shorten it, we have to start over, and then you don't have enough experience on the board to guide a new person to get them up to speed quickly enough for them to be effective next year.
Is that not part of the qualifications when we reconsider somebody for appointment?
Yeah, but my point is, if a new person, yes, but then the new person that raised their hand and thinks they might be able to join a board really can't. If we're saying right now, well, we're going to wait training.
If there's somebody, then maybe we make an associate board of assessors, or somebody it's fine if you want to make an official position, but people can join any of the meetings. But so the main point is making it appear accessible and available, rather than putting it off for a year and a half and saying, oh, thank you for your interest, but you have no opportunity to join it for at least a year and a half.
It's because there's no open vacancy, but I could use the same thing and say, but you're welcome to attend the meetings, and we would consider making you an associate member. I'm just thinking, if we're going to spend the next 6 months training.
Yeah, no. I see the point of that, and I also took assessors training when you become a select board member, you go through like the department of whatever it is, and Jennifer knows that because she was the one that sent me to that, and I appreciate that.
Jennifer made you go.
But and so like that's the main thing, right? But like if the goal is to either appear accessible, are we trying to appear accessible and open, or are we trying to just be effective and say like we're locking this in for a year and a half? And that's the question that I think that the board needs to answer. But I've already voiced my own opinion, and so I think that's where it is.
Well, let's ask the candidates. Again, in order that I see you, Jennifer Jones, what are your thoughts on the length of the terms?
Thank you. Hi, Kristen. Thank you guys for
Hello.
having me. Hi. I think I'm kind of going with what you're saying, Kristen, in the sense of building in that training period. For me, I since this is all new to me, I really don't know how this is all going to play out, but I'm willing to commit to, a year and a half. If need be longer, I can, I guess, cross that bridge when we get there. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you thought about it. Yeah. Jim Howie, what do you think about it?
Well, I think if you're going to be ramping up the team, right, for the first 6 months, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to open up a slot after 6 months. So I think going the, year and a half, 2.5, 3.5 makes a lot of sense.
Jennifer Barrett, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Jennifer and Jim. The assessor's calendar is an annual cyclical calendar. It's not like you're dealing with whatever's coming along at the moment. It's something that you need to kind of prepare for, and that training for the first few months is going to be kind of getting your feet wet, and then you're not going to see those same things for another year. So training up somebody who hasn't seen kind of overall, it's definitely a longer process than 6 months.
Okay. Wes, do you want to make a motion?
You're always eating. I'll make the. Go ahead, Wes.
Sorry,
No.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, because so to rebut that, my thing would be is when is the end mark for the abatements, right? And so if the people are training for the abatements, if that ends in 6 months at the end of the calendar year, they then have certain months to respond to the abatement. And so that, like, I'm still, like, I appreciate the people willing to train, and I think that speaks volumes for them moving forward. But I'm still unmoved from making it inaccessible for somebody for at least 1.5 years to join the board unless somebody resigns or we remove somebody and then appoint somebody else.
Well,
That's where I guess I'm coming from.
Why don't we go ahead and create, once they're got their feet under them, we can create associate positions. We can expand it to 5 members if we want. So why don't we address
I get that,
it
but I'm
way?
still just not okay creating a permanent position starting in 1.5 years. And that's
Okay.
like, I've just not heard the arguments, but like, I understand the arguments for it. And but I will support them in, like, you can say, like, I have training. And so that's a criteria of saying, like, I have, credentials for continuing in this position versus somebody who's new and looking to become an associate. And that's when I think we should create the associate position if we have more interest. But we just don't have that yet. And so that's why I was like, I'm not trying to like say that I diminish or take away from anybody, but it's just, I want to make sure that we appear open, honest, and then like moving forward. And like, I have no problem either rolling the dice from these people or all the people that applied and saying like, okay, just pick somebody, they get the 6 month and that's fine. And you've put in the work, you've gone through all this training, you've been part of this, like, that's fine. Those are all credentials that speak towards your capability of continuing. And I think that would be, rather than setting it to be 1.5 years, I think setting 6 months is a perspective. And that's what, like, I haven't heard anything to overturn my desire to appear open. And I guess that's the best way I can put it.
I guess I see it as demoralizing. Someone's going to be here for 6 months. They're going to do all the work. And I hear what you're saying. We're basically promising to reappoint them in June, which is also not transparent. I think it's more transparent to say the first term is 1.5 years. And at that point, we'll reconsider, because by that time, everybody will have their legs underneath them. So I hear what you're saying, but I'm also struggling with the word appear transparent when really we're saying, as long as you do a good job, we'll reappoint you.
Sam?
Well, then you're setting somebody up for a month, like a year and a half, saying, okay, so now you're unreplaceable, and so that's like the other side of it, right? Like, and
Is irreplaceable? Not even us.
I mean, I'm very
Replace me.
replaceable. Like I,
Not to a lot of people, Wes. Not to a lot of people. All right. Well, would you like to make a motion? Because that's the only way we can move on.
so I mean, so the main question then becomes: do we want to like randomize?
Oh no, I have to make a motion
one
to make it a year and a half. Sorry, Wes. It's the opposite. I need to make a motion, or someone else does. All right. I move to change the Board of Assessor appointments from 6 months, 2.5 years, 1.5 years, and 2.5 years to 18 months, 2.5 years, and 3.5 years.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion now?
Sam, can you jump in?
Sorry, what?
Sam, I was just wondering what your thoughts on this, as far as the first term being 6 months or the first term being 18 months. What are your thoughts, Sam?
I think the first term ought to be 6 months. I'm with
Okay.
Wes on this one.
Okay, good.
Oh, and I have to amend my motion. No, the first term is 18 months. The second term is 2 years. The third term is 3 years. We're not making everybody on that half schedule, right?
Yeah.
Or no? Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Wait, what? No, it's,
No.
Yes, that is correct. 18, 2, and 3, right?
No, because 2 would be now. I was right. It's 18, 2.5, and 3.5. I see you shaking your head, Bob. This is math. This is a timeline. This is struggle. Because if it was 2 years, they would get reappointed 2 years from today.
right, exactly. So it's June of 27, June of 28, and June of 29.
Perfect.
And
All
then I have a question. After that, once the 3-year term ends, right? Like moving forward, subsequently, is it a 3-year term?
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
And
So it's 6 months,
this
and then
June-
it goes to 3 years, and then it goes one year, and then it's or one and
Yes.
a half years, and then it's 3 years,
Correct.
and so
correct,
then
Chris.
it's 2.5, and then 3 years. Yeah.
Yep, exactly, Wes.
Okay.
And that was written into the charter.
okay.
All right. All those in, wait a minute. How do we make motions on the Zoom? You guys?
So wait.
It's not
you
all
made the
those in
motion. So
favor.
the first motion was to change the initial charter from 6 months to 18 months.
Yep.
And then that needs a second, and that does not have a second yet. And then
It
you
does.
would
Bob
need
seconded.
I think Bob
No,
said.
Bob
Okay.
seconded
Yeah.
it. Yeah, Bob
Well,
seconded
I
it.
thought Bob said that. Sam, can I hear what you think?
No, I did say after that.
He
Okay.
seconded it. Then I
Okay.
said further discussion.
So then
he
if there's
said-
no more discussion, then you
Right.
can take a roll call vote.
And then
but-
you say yes or no in the roll call vote.
Right,
Yeah.
yes.
So I
Okay.
don't say all those in favor. I say
Roll
roll
call.
call vote.
Roll call
Thank
vote.
you. Again, I don't think I've ever done this as a select board person. In ZBA, we were very laid back. All right, roll call vote. In order of who I see. Bob,
Simple I.
Priya,
Sundaram, I.
Wes,
Folks, nay.
and Sam,
Anderson, no.
and Hilberg, aye. So that passes 3-2.
Yep.
Okay, now we're going to move into the actual applicants. I'm just going to go in the order that is on the agenda. So Jennifer Barrett, you have me first, and it's a quick introduction, why you'd like to be considered for the Board of Assessors, and what you love about Boxborough, which you have told us before, but you get to tell us again. Go.
So I was approached by no less than 4 people, I think, at town meeting when the Board of Assessors was passed. And so it's been gelling in the back of my head since then. When I saw the opportunity, I decided that it was still something that I could be interested in and have the capacity for. I've worked with many boards of assessors in various different towns. board of one in Boxborough, but also in Millbury and in Concord. And as a municipal finance professional, I am familiar with the role of the Board of Assessors in municipal finance.
Great. Now, have you had
I've
a
lived in
chance to read the
Boxborough
charter?
almost
Oh, sorry.
all my
Yep,
life.
go ahead.
I've been in Boxborough for, I don't even know how many years. I left for a while and I'm back.
And,
We're glad
and
you're back.
Jennifer, my only question for you is, which term would you prefer?
I would take any term. It doesn't, I'm not wedded to any of them. So I'll let Jennifer and Jim weigh in on their preferences.
Okay, thank you.
I would take any.
And great. And just so you know, we're not going to appoint anyone until all three of you had a chance, so we can figure out if anyone does have a preference. All right, Jennifer, you left Boxborough and you came back. How come?
Well,
Meaning, why do you love Boxborough? Not for personal reasons.
Why do I love Boxborough? It's where I grew up. So we came back when the kids were little, and they're almost grown now, and we're still here. So we've seen a lot of Boxborough.
Great. Thank you. All right, Jim Howie, you are next on the list. So same questions. Introduce yourself, why you're interested in being on the Board of Assessors. Is there a team preference, and why do you love Boxborough?
Okay, well, my name is Jim Howie, and I've lived in Boxborough for over 30 years. I don't remember exactly how long. We raised our kids here. And I was just interested in trying to do something to help out the town. I am not I'm a kind of a business guy. I worked for some big companies, US Steel, GE. I think I have a lot of business skills. I will say that when I was at a town meeting and heard the assessor's report, I was shaking my head about like what's going on here. This looks like this could use some assistance. So I'm interested just really in helping out. And I don't really have any preference for term. And I'm kind of looking forward to the training to find out a little bit more about it.
Okay, awesome. What do you love about Boxborough?
Oh, I love the big snowfall so I can blow my driveway and shovel walks and stuff, right?
All right, if you really wanted to go there, you could say, I love the giant mound at the end of my driveway after the plow trucks do an awesome job on my street.
Right, that's right. No, the plow guys did an awesome job.
Yeah, they did.
I lost a Christmas tree in one of those piles many years ago for like 3 months. So yeah, it's nice.
Jennifer Jones, all the same questions, and I can repeat them if you don't remember them.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi everyone. So I was approached by Tony Newton. He asked if I'd be interested. I am interested. I feel that the main reason for my interest is just to ensure property valuations and make sure that, the residents of Boxborough aren't either undertaxed or overtaxed. That's one of the reasons I feel that I'd be helpful. And I haven't really been involved with volunteering with the town of Boxborough since living here. And so this just gives me an opportunity to do so.
Great. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, I know you, but.
Yeah. So I've lived here in Boxborough since
We lost you. That's weird.
Jennifer,
we can't hear you. Hold on.
uh-oh.
She's unmuted, but for some reason.
It must be a bad connection. Is she still in the meeting?
Jennifer.
Say something, Jennifer.
Hello.
Here we go. We got you back. We got you back.
Okay. Sorry about that. So I was saying, so I lived in Boxborough since 2015. We moved here from Acton. What brought me to Boxborough was just the ability to have land and a farm. I've always wanted a farm. And when the schools regionalized, it gave us the opportunity to move to Boxborough and still be a part of the Acton-Boxborough School District, which my kids were already a part of. And it was just that perfect blend of having that rural setting with a little bit more privacy and open space, but you still have like the amenities to good schools. So that's what I love about Boxborough.
It was masterful. You combined introducing yourself with why you love the town. That was very good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have a preference on terms?
I don't, but I would say that, you know, I'm probably, as far as the housing and the valuations are concerned, I mean, I could keep that up for up to 3.5 years for sure. That's in my mind, I guess I'm thinking that we were all basically going to work together, but it sounds like we're all going to be doing it just solely. The one person will do a term for 18, one person will do a term for 2 years or 2.5, and one.
No.
Well, you'll all work together. It's just that one of you will be up for reappointment in 18 months. One of you will be up for reappointment.
That makes sense.
It's just staggered terms so that you're not all turning over, and we can build institutional knowledge.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have a
preference. Jump in, Wes.
So I just wanted to point out that the role of the Board of Assessors is similar to that of the Select Board in the town of Boxborough, where we are the executive function of the town. And so while we provide goals and objectives to the town administrator and the staff, they carry out those objectives. And the town assessor would be carrying out those assessments and doing the levy limits, but it would be reviewed by the Board of Assessors and given feedback. There's no day-to-day role in terms of making sure valuations are appropriate for certain houses or not and whatnot. That would get routed back to the board of, like, the actual town assessor or the assessor's assistant. But this is more of a means of saying, like, okay, are you signing off on the work that I did? And can you show me the work? And then from the assessor's perspective is, let me show you the work that I did, and will you sign off on this? And that's the role of the Board of Assessors, at least from my understanding and perspective. And I just wanted to set that clear before everybody volunteers to do this, that you're not going to be going out and looking in people's houses in their basements, because, like, my wife would love to do this. If she's just like, oh, can I see your house? Like, you know, let me, like, my wife and her mom, like, love to go to, like, open houses in town and just like, oh, this is what your house looks like. Like, okay. But yeah, no,
people
it's
do that,
more
Wes.
of
A
like
lot of people do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like the whole role of the Board of Assessors is to be the checks and balances on the assessor, meaning that they're not setting the rates too high. They're not increasing the, what is that? The money, setting aside the money for abatements and all that stuff, making that too high.
Overlay reserve
and
all
so
that.
the reserve, the reserve and all of that stuff. And so we're leaving the work to the professionals, but we're just being the checks and balances and having that be residents so that they have perspective on that.
So this is actually a great chance for any of the candidates, if you have any questions about what your role would be or questions about the charter, you know, feel free, because you might have a question that somebody else has. And just jump in if you have a question.
I guess I should have prefaced my introduction to, I am in real estate. I'm a real estate agent, and so I'm constantly looking at values of homes. And
so you are going in the basement of
I not necessarily, but I could do a lot of valuations just through marketing and research and market reports and so forth. But yeah, that's where I was coming from with my evaluation part.
Okay. All right. So you pretty much all said you would take any term. Nobody has a preference. So I think I am inclined to literally just go in the order of the ABC. Mike, is that in the order of, is that alphabetical, or was it for any other reason?
You can also just do a random if you want to. It doesn't matter.
How do I do that?
I can do it on Google, like 1, 2, 3. You give them 1, 2, and 3, and just say, give me an order of 1, 2, 3, like randomly. But the question is
if you want to
now
do
we
that,
have somebody for so we have somebody for 18 months, 2 years, or 2.5 years. Well, no, so it's technically we have 2 people for 1.5 years now, because the motion to adjust the schedule was so initially it was 6 months, then 1.5 years, which is 18 months. And then
I did 2.5 years. Yeah, I did 2.5 years. So basically it's what Bob said, 27, 28, 29. Only one person will be up this year. And I'm 27.
June
I did
27th.
18 months, 2.5 years, 3.5 years. And then
Right.
Bob clarified
Okay,
it by saying
okay.
27, 28, 29.
Right.
All right.
Kristen,
If
to
you
answer
wanna
your
Google-
question,
Yes.
they're just alphabetical on the agenda.
Okay.
So
Well, if the volunteers don't have, Wes, do you want to do the Google random thing? Or shall I just do it
He's
alphabetically?
doing it.
What's that?
I'm doing it right now.
He's doing it.
He's
So
doing
it goes, Google said 312.
All right, so it's 312 based on the order. It's Jennifer for 18, Jennifer Jones. You guys will have to get used to that. What'd you say?
312.
Jennifer Barrett for 2028. And Jim Howie for 2029.
Random.
Any of the applicants have an objection to that? Seeing none, I'm going to make the first motion. I'm not making a movement.
No.
I move to appoint Jennifer Jones to the Board of Assessors for a term ending June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Roll call vote. Bob,
Simple I.
Priya,
Sundaram, I.
Wes,
Folks there.
Sam,
Oh, hold on.
Anderson, I.
and Hilberg, aye. All right, Jennifer, you are in like Flint. I move to appoint Jennifer Barrett to the Board of Assessors for a term ending June 30th, 2028.
Second.
Roll call vote. Bob,
Simple I.
Priya,
Sundaram, I.
Wes,
Folks there.
Sam.
Anderson, I.
I move to appoint Jim Howie to the Board of Assessors for a term ending June 30th, 2029.
Second.
Roll call vote. Bob,
Simple I.
um,
Sundaram,
Priya?
I.
Wes,
Folks there.
and Sam.
Anderson, I.
We're just always going to go in the same order. So if everyone I won't even say your name, just do it. So, all right. So thank you, Jennifer, Jennifer, and Jim.
I
Yes.
have one announcement before they leave. We
Sure.
have our station building committee listening session coming up on Wednesday, 11 a.m. and 7 p.m., both in person as well as hybrid via Zoom. So would encourage you guys to, as a part of a committee member, to join that.
Great.
And
Thank
listen
you.
in for the listening session. Thank you, all of you, for stepping up. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So your next step is to go see the town clerk and be sworn in. We'll all stop at the town hall and sign your papers also. So hopefully by the end of the week, everyone will be fully appointed. And as always, if you need us for anything, Mike is the fastest way to get to the select board, but you can reach out to any one of us at any time. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
So
Have a great
Kristen,
night. Thanks for your patience. Yes.
Kristen, before you move on to the next agenda item, two things. We have both chiefs here, and
Okay.
first, the fire chief, I think, would like to share some comments on the warming center from Saturday and the involvement that Burke had. And I know that the
Cool.
board wanted to, make some comments on that as well. And then next, the police chief is here, and we want to have a discussion with him after you talk about Burke and their role in the warming center.
Sure. And my guest, Ron, you're here also to report. So that's great. So, all right, why don't we start with Ron and John Kivlin and on how it went this weekend and what you all saw out there. John, Chief, do you want to go first?
Sure. Thank you.
Hi.
Can you hear me okay? All
Hi,
right.
Chief.
Yes.
I'm sure everyone got my emails, and I tried to tone them down a bit. I know I was sending them out a lot Friday through Saturday. We were fairly busy, steady. Companies were moving. I was glad we staffed up just because of the difficulty getting people, not only my people into homes, but getting people out of homes and out of buildings. I think the worst is over now, and we're just looking at snow until about 10 o'clock. The DPW did a great job keeping up with everything, so I just want to give a big thank you to them. But aside from the snow, the cold on Saturday, the warming stations, while the rest of us were prepping our houses and getting ready for the snow, once again, our Burke volunteers stepped up to help their neighbors and to be available. And I just can't say enough about them. Also want to give a shout out to the Boxborough Regency for offering space for us to be able to use as well. But again, neighbors helping neighbors, Burke stepping up, giving up their time when they could be home prepping like the rest of us, and just being there to help out. Specifically the Cisco's, supplying tea, hot chocolate, bringing the hot water to the library to make sure that if anyone stopped in, that there was something warm for someone to drink to get warm. I can't say enough about them and the group in Burke and what they do. So I just wanted to make sure that they're recognized tonight and say thank you to them.
Yeah. Are you both there? Pop your cameras on and say hi.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate it, Chief. We had a number of people stop by. No emergencies. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good.
Perfect.
Okay. I have headphones on. I'm trying them out. So we had some brave hikers, the family that hiked through the woods all the way from Joseph Lane to the library. So they sure appreciated stopping in to get warm and get some hot chocolate. Some other
awesome.
library patrons stopped in as well. We had some informational handouts there available for anybody that wanted some.
Mhm.
And fortunately, no real critical incidents in anyone's homes as far as the cold went. And shout out for DPW and all the work that they did this weekend with all the snow.
Oh yeah. Kathy, did you want to chime in? I saw you pop in and pop out.
Kathy, you're muted.
She
Do we have
can
to unmute?
unmute. Yeah, somebody has to unmute.
Thank
there
you. I was trying. It wouldn't let me.
We're not used to these Zoomies. Anyway,
Again, I was happy to help out. Again, the hot chocolate and the tea and hot water, we had supplies donated by the Fords, Alan and Diane.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
they kind of said, hey, this would be a good idea. We also had hand warmers but there wasn't a need to hand those out. I think we had we did 2 shifts, and I think we had like 4 people per shift. And I will say, in light of everything that happened yesterday and today and all the work that the DPW did, it seemed like, the little bit that we did, we appreciate you recognizing the Burke group.
absolutely.
No,
Well,
yeah,
I
so-
think also is a great way for people to become more aware, even just people going in and out of the library on a Saturday to get some awareness, to see that the town cares, to see that you care. I just think there's so many great things about it. And I think it's also that message, if you know anyone who needs support or, whatever, we're here. So, Chief?
I'm sorry. I just want to point something out because Kathy, there she goes again with somewhat being humble about this. They step up all the time. For her to say what they did, to minimize it compared to what else went on during this thing, whether it's the flu shot clinics, whether it's the truck or treat, it's the Christmas tree lighting, they show up. They are always there. Burke is always there. They think we don't see them. We see you, Burke. You are always there. And cannot thank you guys enough for always stepping up. You guys are the unsung heroes. You get very little praise at times. And this is praise that you deserve. You always step up, you always show up, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And yeah, so I just want to say what the chief just said. As far as the Burke shows up, and the Burke shows up because of Ron and Kathy. Their leadership is instrumental in this town to running the Burke. They are the ones who organize the Burke. They are the one who sent out the emails, that sent out the flyers, that make the telephone calls. So the leadership of the Burke is really because of Ron and Kathy. So thank you to both very much.
That's nice. Thank
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Chief. We appreciate it.
Can I say something?
No.
Jump it in. This is a normal meeting for us.
All right. I want to thank Burke, Ron, and Kathy personally for rain or shine. They're there for every event in our town and always with a smiling face. I cannot forget Alan and Diane Ford as well. They're also there for everything. So I think the whole team is amazing. You guys are amazing. We can always count on you. You're always there, ready to do whatever it takes. So we appreciate everything that you guys are doing. We want you to continue to do what you're doing because Boxborough cannot do without you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it very, very much.
Any other comments?
Thank you, Priya.
All right, excellent. All right, anything else from the chief or Burke? We're all good?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Of course. Okay, moving on. We're going to move to police department staffing structure and the proposed lieutenant's position. So I actually asked that this be put on the agenda. I did receive some citizen feedback that it was a bit of a surprise. And did the select board know about it? And I had to be honest, it was not top of mind. So I invited the chief and Mike to come and talk to us about rationale, reason, fill us all in on everything going on. So
Sure.
So take it away.
Yeah, I'll start. I'd like to start by saying that I've worked hard with both chiefs on making sure that both departments have a good, solid succession plan, and we want to make sure that we always are improving, doing better, and set up for success in the future. And so they've done a good job in that regard. In both departments, they are particularly, I highlighted when each of them came on that I wanted them to start from the top down, building a command staff that was going to be able to provide leadership into the future years. And particularly on the police, which we're here to discuss tonight, Chief Shefchik and I have talked about this extensively. And the mistake that I made is that I didn't further that communication outside of administration and police command staff. I should have taken it further to the select board and to the finance committee so everybody knew what we were thinking and planning. So what I mean by that is I knew that he was building succession in the department, strengthening his command staff, not adding people or additional positions, but finding a way with the money that they had without any further expense to promote someone, which would be good for morale, creating two future positions. So first a lieutenant position from a sergeant, from an internal hire, and then paving the way for a future fill of a sergeant position. Now, going back a couple of years, over a year anyways, there has been a plan within the budget and the budget plan to add another supervisor position. And initially, the chief was thinking a sergeant position. So the department had been staffed with 3 sergeants. Over the last 2 budget years, he's planned to bring in a 4th supervisor position. As he looked at it further, he realized that he could not only do it within his budget, but also save money by hiring a lieutenant position, not in the union, if the union was agreeable to losing one union position. And I thought that was a great plan. I thought it fulfilled the goals that I had set with him and put that vision out there for him, but also found a way to do it and save money for the town. The mistake I made, though, is that I didn't take that communication beyond there to a strategic level. And so I want to turn it over to the chief, but I just want to lay the groundwork and admit that I could have done a much better job communicating that vision beyond just administration and police command.
And Mike, was the union okay with giving
Yes,
up a position? Okay.
They were. And that was the thing. I got so caught up in that communication and chief having a meeting with his union president, as well as the rest of the union staff at the police department, and they overwhelmingly, to a person, supported it. They were okay with it, even though it meant they would be losing one position in the union. They saw the value in promotional opportunities, 2 promotions, and chief even had some of his younger officers who knew that they would not be eligible for either of these promotions coming up within this coming year, but saw that in the future, it would be more opportunities for them to stay here in Boxborough.
And what about with the personnel plan? Is it like within the realm?
It is.
Of that?
So
Okay.
so the lieutenant position is already in the personnel plan. It's already planned. This would be a second lieutenant position. And I'll let the chief
Me,
talk
or is it
about,
Mike's connection?
what's that?
Oh, all right. My internet is unstable. All right, never mind. I wasn't sure if it was me or everybody. Okay. Damn Verizon. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so at this point, I guess I'd like to, unless there's more questions for me in particular, I'd like to turn it over to the chief so that he can, illustrate how he's been able to not only provide for this promotion within his budget, but also save the town money by doing so.
Mike, good evening. Before I start, I just also want to just say thank Ron and Kathy and also DPW. We put a post up today for thanking DPW and spotlighting them, and I can't tell you how many people commented on the great job they did over the last day or two. So I just wanted to mention that as well. We've all been working a lot the last 2 days, fire and police, but it's really DPW who's out there doing the roads, and just how grateful we are. So
Well, we have you. How'd we do for accidents or anybody frozen pipes or any of the crazy things that happen in these storms?
No, very good on the police front. We were, we stepped up our staffing a little bit, but
that was
Chief
a question.
Kivlin,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Chief Kivlin did a great job, I think, as emergency management director of getting the information out there. Earlier in the week or last week, we had a little snow. We had about 4 or 5 accidents. This one was obviously in the news more. People prepared a little bit more, but we really thank Chief Kivlin, Emergency Management, for getting that information out there. And it was relatively quiet. We had one issue with our server room, unrelated, and sure enough, Fran was working and was able to come take care of that with the cooling in our server room. So it went really well. And again, just want to thank DPW. We don't get to our calls if it's not for them making the roads clear and safe. Back to moving on. So Mike did explain a lot of this, but I want to, reiterate what he said. If this wasn't communicated, then again, I take responsibility for that as well. I did talk about the need for an additional supervisor back in the January 6, 2024, the budget meeting, and talked about the need for more supervision in the department, and that was a long-term plan. It was talked about then, put in the budget. But again, we also have to identify the people, and it's got to be the right time. But I've been talking about this originally, like Mike said, I was thinking a sergeant, but from a fiscal point of view, it just made much more sense. And I'll get into that in a second to make it a lieutenant where we can actually have a cost savings. So it has been talked about for the last 2 years. It was in my departmental goals this past year. And again, like I said, talked about in the capital meeting in 2024, but I certainly should have maybe talked about it a little bit more. So I do apologize for that. If I did prepare one slide, if that could get brought up.
You can share, actually. You have
There we go. So it's a 4-prong really approach, and I combined a couple, but first retention, and to allow career progression within your department internally. Right now, it is a absolute buyer's market out there, not just for officers, but for supervisors. People can go to other places. We want to keep our people in town. It leads to a more stable department and certainly improve customer service, which is our goal every day. So keeping our officers here and being able to provide 2 promotions internally possibly is really, really important. And I think a benefit. Second, post. Since the advent of post in Massachusetts in late 2020, there is increased standards, increased reporting. It's very important. The job has become very, very much more administrative in a lot of regards. Things that we just didn't have to do before, we have to do now. So I think that's important. We're an accredited department. That means continue updating policies, reporting. These are administrative functions, really important. But what I like is with all this increased, as well, it should be this transparency, accountability. I want more supervisors. And that's what I've talked about for 2 years. And we are able to increase supervisory shifts with supervisors on them from about 67% to over 80% by bringing a new supervisor on. We're never going to have 100% until we really, the department would be very difficult to have 100%. We'd have to have quite a few more officers. But to get into the 80%, having a supervisor always scheduled to work is a vast improvement from about mid 60% where we are right now. Certainly succession planning, Mike already talked about that. Important, I think cross training is important. Operations booklets, certainly having more than one person able to take on leadership roles at any time. It certainly ensures departmental runs and continuity in a succinct and an orderly manner. But most importantly, maybe not most, but I talk about community trust. I think we've done a really good job with that over the last 3 years, from strengthening police and community partnerships to bringing the RAD program to town, to community book reads, to tomorrow night's program. That we do a lot of things with the community. We learn and grow as a police department with the community, and that's so important. But it's also important that we do this in a fiscally responsible manner. And I think that is also the way you get community trust. And I think we've done a lot of that over the past couple of years. I mean, regional dispatch is a great example. We certainly have cruiser detail fees. We just brought in over $15,000 in the last 3 months charging cruiser details. Guys know we've done quite a few grants. We've changed our car plan. We've saved money to maybe my detriment internally here, but instead of asking for 2 cars every 4 years, we kept our car plan to just 1 car every year, and we don't get every 4th year, request from town meeting that second car. But one thing we've done to really save money is the backfilling of the lieutenant position. And that's where this goes to save quite a bit of money. Now, we can, a promotion from a sergeant to a lieutenant, again, it's hard to give you an exact number, but it's around $2,000, anywhere from about $1,500 to $2,000, depending who gets the position. That's why I can't tell you exactly the amount, but regardless of who gets the position, it'd be about a $1,500 to $2,000 increase to our salary line. The sergeant position was over an $8,000 increase. And that's one reason I kind of struggled with putting it in there. Even 2 years ago was the higher cost. This is only $2,000 increase. But what this also allows us to do is backfill. And we've done that a lot with the lieutenant. And what I mean with that is if somebody takes a day off, I'm not always hiring overtime. I can backfill as a number 2 officer, the lieutenant. So I've done that, and we've been able to keep our overtime budget very, very low. As you guys remember from Capital Saturday, Budget Saturday 2 weeks ago, we've been able to do that, and it gives much more flexibility. Or days like the last couple of days when we want to have extra people on shifts because of a storm or something unpredictable, we're able to do that. So we backfill, and it doesn't cost us anything. So just an example, if I was to backfill 1 time a month with the lieutenant position, it would be, and again, a lot of it's who takes the overtime shift, but I'll give you the range. It would be a $5,500 to $7,700 savings. If I did it twice a month, it would be an $11,000 to a $15,000 saving. If I did it once a week, which is on the high end, but let's just say it was once a week, that's over a $24,000 savings. So we're paying out $2,000, and it gives me the flexibility, certainly be able to do this once a month with the backfill. We more than get our money back, and it gives me more flexibility. So it's a cost savings to the department. Certainly gives me more flexibility. So that is, the union is behind it. I do have a letter from them agreeing, which I think I was shocked that we were able, I don't say shocked, I was surprised in a way that we were able to get that. But I also think that a lot of them look at the long-term benefits. Even some of the younger officers who really aren't even eligible, they see this as more career progression later on in their career. So we do have support of the union. They have provided a letter. Could we have done it without them? Possibly. I didn't want to take that chance. I wanted buy-in. So in a nutshell, that's kind of the 4 things. For me, it's more supervisory coverage at a lower cost to the taxpayers. Simple as that.
And the lieutenant, for anyone who doesn't remember, the lieutenant's on the personnel plan, correct? Now they move into
They are on the personnel plan, so we do have a little more control versus a union contract. We did change it 2 years ago from exempt to non-exempt, and that's why I've been able to work more on the backfilling and doing that and changing shifts. Even though work 7 to 3, sometimes you work 8 to 4, so I can decrease the overtime. So we did change that from exempt to non-exempt, which again was the start how I've been able to do this. This has been a couple year progress on the first one. And then I said, wow, this works so well from a financial point of view. Let's look at it from a second one on a second shift lieutenant. And with the cost savings, they equate to, like I already explained. So yes, it's on personnel plan, but non-exempt.
Also, just to be upfront, like this is not just taking them on the personnel plan and saying buy your own uniform. There are some special exemptions for police officers that they do get over other people on the personal administration plan. So I just want to make that everybody aware of that. So it's not just like, oh, we're going to pluck you off that, but it is similar to what they're getting in the union in terms of uniform allowance and like equipment, etc., etc. And so it's necessary for the police department.
Yeah, because I was actually going to ask that question after everybody else spoke, so I appreciate that. Bob?
Chief, just real quick, or if you can, if in front of you, and don't put a slide up, it just from what your notes. Can you give me a diagram, explain to me the diagram or what you have if this was to get approved? So there'd be a chief, 1 lieutenant, 3 sergeants, and then how many patrol? You just go down the chart.
Currently, we are a 1138. I was exploring 1147. However, the cost savings, like I explained, with a 1237, and that means 1 chief, 2 lieutenants, 3 sergeants, and 7 officers. That would be the new org chart. And again, it's currently 1138.
Okay, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 7 is what you're proposing.
That would be the budgeted. That would be the budgeted org chart structure of the department. Yes.
So my question is, the question is, on a optimal day, how many people are out on patrol? A sergeant and an officer, or go ahead.
You would still have, now we haven't had, our detective position has been off on long-term injury. However, that's generally because it works with the court, and it's a court prosecutor / detective. It's generally on days. Okay. One of those. But it would be 2 officers scheduled per shift. However, on first and second shift, I don't always have to backfill with a person on overtime to have the second person. I just put the lieutenant as a second person, and now I will be able to do that in second shift as well. If I have a second shift lieutenant, I'm not always hiring overtime. Again, sometimes if you get late in the budget year, you're having a tough budget year, you had some unexpected things, maybe some court cases that went longer, and you have to certainly pay your officers when they're at court. It gives you the flexibility to do that more and stay within budget. We have gone 3 years. Yeah. So I give you the numbers there, whether you do it once a month, you do it twice a month, you do it once a week, but it's that backfilling when you normally would be hiring overtime, you could have the lieutenant go in that spot. And it can't always happen if they're away at training, if they have meetings, but there are certain times. And then, again, we changed that from exempt to non-exempt to be able to do that correctly and legally. So one comment I'm going to make. So in a way, it's kind of a win for the patrol officers, because on certain days they could have a lieutenant with them as far as supervision. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. You again, I'm saying when we have to backfill for overtime, but the plenty of shifts where everybody's working, which is the majority of the time, people are here, you'd have another body there. Yes. Great. And a supervisor who can handle major calls. Not that every officer can't, but it's always good to have an experienced supervisor there. That's exactly what I'm saying. Exactly. So on that first shift, or
going forward, potentially on that second shift, you would have an experienced lieutenant with a patrol officer going on a scene. Is that correct? Great. I'm all set. Thanks, Kristen.
Jump in. Yeah.
Just to clarify, so we have one sergeant position coming open this year, and then another one that we're looking to move. Is that the position that you're looking to move to lieutenant, or are you looking to keep the sergeant position open and remove? Like, I don't really care. Like, not, that's a wrong way to say it. Like, I'm just trying to understand where you're looking to move this, and like, just know that I understand the staffing and those kind of stress, because like, right, you can't, or I'm gonna bring Liz in again, and I am so sorry for this, Liz. But her uncle was a huge Laurel and Hardy fan, and so this may resonate with some of the people watching.
Say the older people.
I just said some of the people watching.
Okay,
There could be young people that are Laurel and Hardy fans.
Okay,
I've never seen them.
You've never seen one, but okay.
But he goes, well, he's in the ground now, but.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Is it Laurel or Hardy's fault? What? Finish the story, Wes. Sorry, finish the story.
But he's like, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't lead a horse, like that type of thing, right? And so, my main question is like, I'm not for like, right? We're trying to balance like the needs of the town versus the needs of the officers, officer retention. Personally, I will be honest, I am less concerned about having two officers on at all times, because I know in the past, even before your time, there have been one officer or even less than one officer in town, and the town has not had complaints. All right, it's like the time that this happens, and so it's balancing that. But I think that creating this new structure that you're suggesting is, I have been like in a lot of like books, like, right, you trust not books, but like in a lot of leadership, I'm in Switzerland right now, and it's like 2:03 a.m. But what I'm trying to say is my philosophy is trust the people on the ground and the people that you empowered to make the decisions that will best empower the town and serve the town and do their job, but hold them accountable. And so, you're there. Somebody dropped off and that just switched you around. Sorry. But yeah, so like hold them accountable. Like, so kind of like with Mike, like we don't tell him how to run town hall, but we just say, these are our expectations and these are our whatever. And similar for the police of saying like, you're holding it within budget or you're doing a good job within budget. We have not really had any service complaints yet so far. We have not had people not be helped or saved or deaths prevented. And we have either had, we've been well serviced, and what's running so far so well, like trust the leadership that's running it. And so that's, I guess, where I'm coming from, and I just wanted to state that. But like, the leadership process is in the or I don't know if this one will be out of the union contract or in the union contract. It's a little late for me, so my mind's not working as clearly as it normally does, but I would just say, like, where you take this, like, I, as a select board member, I would believe in you in terms of your direction, but I would also just hold you accountable for the direction that it goes. And so that's, I guess, what I'm trying to say. Sorry, very simplified, but backwards, and I'm going to stop talking. I'm tired.
Then it rolls uphill, and yes, absolutely. To your point, it always comes back.
Are you trying to say you're putting it on me now? Rolls uphill.
It comes back to me, and those are in the way I manage the budget. Certainly, in the officers, what's expected out of them. At the end of the day, I absolutely understand. It comes back to me. I think we've done a really good job the last 3 years that I've been here. Certainly in gaining community support and being learning and growing with the community. But certainly also from a financial point of view, we have to do that within budget. And we've been able to do that 3 years without reserve budget transfers. We've been able to stay within our budget. And I look at this as another way to really do both. to make the department continue to run well, but also to do it fiscally responsible manner.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to, I'm glad that Tony has his hand up. I was going to ask him directly, because what does he think from a FinCom perspective? Does he have any insights? To me, this sounds appropriate. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. So Tony, if you have any insight.
Sure, yeah. So there were some concerns from FinCom. I think the first one was that we all got together with Select Board and talked about budget guidelines for this year, knowing that we were going into a tough year with a potential override, which I think, fortunately, we seem to have avoided that. We're still on track for that, I think, right now. But we set some budget guidelines that said no position increases, no salary increases, apart from what was contracted, and those sorts of things. So this does seem to be not in line with that guidance, I would say, is the first thing. So if we've asked other departments in town to hold the line this year, then I think we should be thinking about whether we should be consistent with that across the board in town from a financial perspective. The second comment.
Can I let the chief and Mike respond to that? We'll do it kind of in pieces.
Sure, yeah.
Mike or the chief, do you want to respond?
Take it real quick, but Mike, if you want to go first, or I could just I guess my quick response would be, we're not starting a new position. The position is already there. It's a different org chart, but the position itself, we're not creating a captain, a deputy chief. We're not adding staff. We're keeping the same number of staff, changing an org chart, but we're also doing it in a fiscally responsible way where it would actually save money for the taxpayers.
So that brings me to the second point, really, which is the financial impact of this. So I think I heard you say that the lift from a sergeant to a lieutenant is about $2,000, but the lift from a patrol officer to sergeant is about $8,000. So there would, so obviously there's salary increases here, and we are in fact elevating positions across the board. We're essentially converting a patrol officer to a lieutenant in terms of the org chart, net. So the question is,
no.
Yes, we are. So we'll have one less patrol officer, and we'll have an extra lieutenant.
Okay, hold on. All right, Chief, do you want to respond to that?
Can I jump in for a second?
Sure.
So what we have in the org chart now, and in the budget right now, are eight patrol officers. Excuse me, it would be going to 7 patrol officers and 4 sergeants. That's what's been approved. No, there are 3 sergeants, but in the budget, it's been approved previously to have 4 sergeants, to go up to 4 sergeants. And as the chief was saying, the more he looked at it, even though that was already approved to go up to a 4th sergeant, it made more fiscal sense to keep it at the 3 sergeants and go to a lieutenant, because he could get that supervision position, which is already in his structure, already approved, already budgeted, but get more mileage from a lieutenant than a sergeant. So a higher level of responsibility and a lower cost. That makes all the sense in the world to me. And, I don't see why you would want to drag something like that to town meeting to discuss and try to justify, have the town people vote for the police chief's recommendation to save money, to improve morale, to improve retention, to provide greater supervision. This is a win-win-win-win. But the place where we kind of misstepped, as the chief and I both said, is we should have communicated it better, how much of a win and what a good move this is. We just should have communicated ahead of time, and so that's why we're trying to explain it now.
Yeah, so I think, but what we need, I think, Mike and John, is the sort of side by side of those two scenarios. The current approved staffing plan and the proposed change to that, which is different. I mean, it does involve elevation of a position from one to another. So there is a change in plan. And what we need to see is what's the financial impact, and how do we manage to do this with no budget impact is what I'm trying to figure out. And I haven't seen any dollar numbers yet to actually show us that. So I think if we can demonstrate that, then I think we're fine. And I think we need to demonstrate it not only for this year, but also for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years going out, because of course these positions may have increased salary increases each year that may have an impact in the future. So we need to understand that as well, because it could be sort of like a mission creep type situation where you end up with an obligation for the future that we then can't get out of. So I think we need to see the numbers, I think, side by side, old system and new proposal, basically.
It's a $2,000 increase for the lieutenant position with the ability to have, that would be 4 shifts a year to backfill. I can do it I can do it every other week. It'd be a 15 to 20. I mean, I've given you the numbers. I don't have to repeat them, but backfilling will save us anywhere from $466 to $649 per shift, depending on who takes the overtime shift. Within 4 shifts, that $2,000 is eaten up, is already a savings.
But sure, I mean, we need to see it on paper, Chief. We need to see it on a spreadsheet side by side, so we can understand how you rationalize that. That's all. I mean, that's what I'm asking for. Is you can, the numbers are out there verbalized, but I need to see them on paper, basically in front of me.
And that makes sense, Tony. What you're asking. What you're asking for, Tony, makes all the sense in the world. And so the chief and I have talked about that, and he'll bring it into a finance committee meeting to show you, the timeline of what it looks like with the numbers.
Yeah.
And also for the foreseeable future, right? Like
correct.
3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road.
2 years, 3 years out. What's the impact of that? Because we get in a situation where we create a position, so but it doesn't cost much this year, but in fact next year it costs us a little bit more and a little bit more after that. So you end up snowballing the impact of these decisions we take, which are low impact today but bigger impact tomorrow. That's what I'm
more control over the personnel plan than we do the union contract. I will say that. I mean, we have a lot of control. When they're on the personnel plan, management has much more control in hours and COLAs. We lose that with a CBA. Like even this year, 2.5%, the union has a 3%. And I think we're talking 2.5, 2 or 2.5% COLA. So certainly getting a person out of the union gives you more flexibility moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, these are all good points I think you can make when we meet at FinCom, Chief. So yeah, my final comment is about the actual structure itself and the number of supervisors versus patrol officers. What is the correct ratio? What's the optimum ratio? And what do other towns have compared to what we have? I mean, I don't know the answer to that, but you may have a better sense of what is typical, in terms of an optimally structured department with space for promotions, but also with enough coverage on the ground of patrol officers to cover the shifts that need to be covered.
And our supervisors here do respond to calls. Our sergeants are responding to calls. Our lieutenants, when we backfill, and that's one reason we changed it from exempt to non-exempt, are responding to calls, and we're doing that legally now. So everybody, I mean, I respond to calls at times, but certainly I think we're a little light in the supervisory, and I think it's any chief's position that you always want more supervisors, more supervision. And again, that was when I brought this 2 years ago and talked about it, that was the main reason, is I thought we're a little light, and I would like to get that up into we had 80% of the shifts covered with a supervisor. So
yes, I think some
Tony, you did ask a question.
Would be helpful, maybe.
You asked about other towns. As a former cop's wife, Acton has a sergeant on every shift. So, so that you do always have somebody that's ultimately responsible beyond just the patrolman. So I don't know about any other town. I just know that Acton does. Right. So I'm going to go in order of hands. Wes and Becky have their hands up. I'm going to go Wes and then Becky.
Yeah, so I guess I had to write it down because I didn't want to forget.
Because it's 2:30 in the morning.
So one of the comments I wanted to make is that we're looking to be an employer of choice. And So this goes two ways. One is through believing in leadership and management. And yes, let's ask them the tough questions. Let's ask them to justify what their reasons are. Let's ask them to do this stuff. But when they're able to, like, I believe that we as a board should support them if we still believe in becoming an employer of choice. Because I can't say that anybody, or at least I cannot say myself, would want to work at any place that was like, oh yeah, here, give me your ideas, and then let me just put them in the trash because it's convenient for me. And I'm not saying we're doing that, but like I get that there's hard times like here where we're handling the tax levy and all of that stuff, and it's not like, and I know we can draw similes to private, but like I hope that people understand, like, from when they were working or when they work, like, they want to be appreciated, they want empowerment, and they want like autonomy, and that's like some of the stuff. And so as much as we can give them, as long as they're performing and they're performing at like the level that we're expecting, I think that that's something we should support. And my second point was going to be that I, other than Phil Gath, I can't really remember one of the other officers in the last like 10 years, how many officers have we promoted? And so creating this new leadership position is a means of promoting officers within the department to create advancement opportunities. And so a lot of officers will leave Boxborough because there's no advancement opportunities, because there's a lot of, I don't want to say lifers, like, and I appreciate everybody who's worked for Boxborough, but it's like, it's a good place to work, and like, it's stagnant for advancement. And so by creating this, it breeds a new opportunity for advancement, which is it's a non, like, here, have this bonus, have that bonus, like, give bonuses to everybody to stay here, but it provides that carrot of saying, like, you know what, we are looking out for you guys, and we want to provide this opportunity for advancement, opportunity for growth, and opportunity for development. We're asking Mike to have the department leads train their people, provide advancement and learning opportunities. And so if we are not creating those opportunities for them to then become recognized and advanced for, I question what is the purpose of training people and then having them be sniped by other towns. Like, that's my concerns. And so I guess that's the best way to summarize it.
And you just brought something up that I did want to ask the chief is, my understanding is there are multiple chief positions open, and that I know Acton, I was sitting next to an Acton FinCom member, and they said they were down 4 officers in Acton, that there is active poaching going on. Chief, do you want to speak to any of that? Because I guess
one of the few
in general, there's not enough.
There is. I mean, there is a shortage of people getting into law enforcement. It's been going on for a little while now. We were very fortunate the last year and a half, 2 years, we were fully staffed. But what comes with that is other departments get a new contract, pay more. There is poaching goes on all the time, and we lose people $8,000-$10,000 raise. That happens, and they're going to come to departments like Boxborough, who are accredited, who we have a really good training program. We're a very respected department in the area. So, of course, other chiefs, other departments, that's where they're going to look. So, yeah, it happens. I think we're always going to, in some regard, and then you have officers who might just want more advancement, like you talked about already, a bigger department, more opportunities for advancement. They want to get more experience because maybe they want to go to a federal job. Sometimes, it recently happened. If you buy a home, it's very expensive to buy a home over here. You an hour away, and then you find out you can get a job over there, comparable price, but now you have an 8-minute commute and not a 55-minute commute. That happens. So it's a wide variety of things, but to your point, does poaching go on? Yes, it does. We were fortunate to be fully staffed, but when other departments get contracts, we're going to place that they're going to look, because we have a very well respectable department.
Okay. Thank you. Becky? Oh, can someone unmute Becky?
Okay.
Judy?
Yeah, thanks. I just have a question, because if you have the chief, the 2 lieutenants, the detective who I know is out on injured, and then you've got your daytime sergeant and your daytime patrol officer, that's like six or seven people on during the day, and then we're running like light at night because somebody's out sick. Is the second lieutenant gonna be staffed for the evening shift? So you always have like a senior member of management in evening as opposed to just backfilling?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole point, is a second shift lieutenant. So I can do the backfilling and save the money like I do currently on days with the current lieutenant. I can do that on second shift as well, plus have somebody with a lot of experience on that second shift. But to your point, 100%, it would be a second shift lieutenant.
Okay, thanks.
It doesn't mean that there won't be a day they have training and they're working during the day, because training is usually during the day. So I want to preface that. But yes, their regular scheduled shift would be second shift.
Any other questions for the chief? Because there's no motion for this. This was just being able to have a conversation. Any other questions? Okay. So while we have you, where are we in the hiring process? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I thought there was a motion to preliminary accept the chief's proposal, like to move it forward so that way he could present it at Budget Friday, or Capital Saturday, or what have you. Maybe I misread the agenda.
It just
I think we need
Kelly
a
message.
motion.
I said she was a gem, and I said thanks, Kelly, and I'm pretty sure she was surprised that I responded, because she's like, "Aren't you in Switzerland?" And I was like, "Yes, I am."
Yeah, there's no motion that I see. It just says discussion of possible action. Mike, do we need a motion?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we do.
No, in fact, this is one, again, we've talked about, Chief and I have talked about a lot, and we have advertised this position. We do have some applicants internally for it. So it was important to have this discussion and get some feedback from the chief on what he's thinking, how do the numbers work, before we go ahead and start interviewing and fill the position, which we'd like to be able to do. And in the meantime, we'll go and have a conversation with FinCom, and Chief will lay out the timeline into the out years, showing what the budget would look like with this structure.
I can imagine having senior officers retiring. That might free up some payroll space.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just imagining that's some play right there.
Yep.
Okay. Where are we in filling the patrolman? Just while I have the chief here, we have 4 vacancies. How are we doing with attracting talent?
We have gotten some applicants in. One we moved forward with. The individual is currently in the background process, psychological, medical. That's happening last week and this week. Hopefully it doesn't get canceled this week. But yes, we have moved forward with one of the applicants. We're continuing to advertise. We are, I don't want to say strict in our hiring, but we don't just hire anybody. We want to make sure we
I'm just curious.
hire.
Everyone's poaching guys. Get out there and poach. For the love of God, go poach.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we have moved forward with one, and we're hoping that person joins us really, really soon. We think they'll be fine. Hopefully they'll be fine through the background.
Priya?
A couple things. One is, I think however we proceed with this, it makes total sense, but we absolutely need to get FinCom's buy-in. So hopefully we have all the spreadsheet with the metrics and the details that we can present to them and ensure that they are on board with this. And my second question to you, Chief, is that the person that we are proceeding with, you don't have to answer if you cannot, but does that person have experience, or is that a brand new grad that we would have to train?
No, it's a person with a great deal of experience who would be able to come in relatively quickly and start working.
Okay, thank you.
Tony? Oh, someone has to unmute Tony. And if I'm supposed to know how to do that, tell me what to do.
I'm getting there.
Okay, thank you. I was like, I don't know how to do it.
Okay. Am I good now? Yeah. Yep. So my question was, and it's more about precedent and sort of procedure here. Is does this change in the position structure need to go before town meeting, or can it be done without a town meeting warrant article, vote?
So
Can you answer that? Thanks.
I can answer that. So legally, it does not need to go to town meeting. It is, if this was a new position being introduced, in other words, we didn't have the lieutenant position in the personnel plan, then we'd have to introduce it into the personnel plan, and that would get voted on by town meeting. If it was an increase in staffing, then it would have to go to town meeting. This one it's in the plan already. It doesn't increase the staffing and it doesn't increase the cost. So this is really a management decision on how to best staff the department within the budget to best serve the community. So I've checked, and legally it does not have to go to town meeting. And from a management perspective, I do not believe it needs to go to a town meeting. And the other thing is, where we've got internal applicants who I think are very desirable candidates, if we hold this off until town meeting, I would hate to see those desirable candidates seek another community because they think they're ready to be promoted, and we tell them, well, we're not ready for you. So I would hope that we don't hold this off. I would hope we move forward with this recruitment, and of course come in and have a discussion with the finance committee, but then move forward with it and make this promotion and retain these high quality people.
In just my understanding, then, the personnel plan was established previously to have 2 lieutenants in it. Is that correct?
No, what I'm saying is that you only have to establish it in.
Sets the number of personnel per role, right? And so
correct.
I wanted to refute Mike a little bit in his statements. Historically, the town of Boxborough has gone to what do you call that? Warrant articles for changing the command structure. However, that is also all before we move to more of a professionally managed staff. And so I want to separate the two, right? And so like before, when the select board was effectively running the town, yes, we brought everything to town meeting. And now that we have a professional town administrator, we have delegated a lot of the work of management, and then we're acting more as like a board of directors from a public company for the town administrator and the staff, but it's public, whereas normally you would not see the public communications or the deliberations of a board of directors of a private company. We have moved towards more of a professional development or organization. God, professional organization.
It's getting closer and closer to 3 a.m. Wes. Yeah.
Yeah. So literally, they have bells here. So I'm literally outside the Basel bell tower, and so every half hour the bells go off, and then every hour it rings for however many hours. Yeah.
Well, thank you for hanging in.
But the main part of this is that I believe that I would be comfortable as a select board member making this separate and not bringing it to town meeting, because the town meeting has as itself selected that they have wanted a strong town administrator. And so kind of bringing these past practices of before we have adopted this to now after we adopted it, and then saying now we want to sit on your back and manage how you're going to structure this, where we're then saying as long as you can manage your budget within this amount, and as long as you can maintain morale, not necessarily maintain morale, but provide services, which a subset of that is maintaining morale and like the hiring and all that stuff, knowing that it's going on. Like that's what I'm comfortable with that in terms of delegation. Like as long as
so what you're saying is
yeah.
Because we're discussing this in an open public meeting now, that is sufficient visibility to the town to know what's going on. We don't need to take it to the town meeting, which is effectively the legislature of the town.
Yeah,
No, that's
because we're
not what he
asking them to
said.
pass it, or I'm saying that because in the
not what you
past,
said.
yeah, that's true. In the past, what we had was we did do it, whereas the select board was more of the operators of the town, and we have had for the last 3 to 4 years a strong town administrator, and so we have not since that position had a structural change be brought to town meeting, whereas before it was effectively the select board asking the will of the voters, is what we're doing okay? Now we're saying, when you elect your select board, are they managing the resources of the town? Are they holding the administration accountable? Are they running it as a board, like a board acting in your behalf? And so, like, the town does not, we do not have to make day-to-day decisions. We do not have to adjudicate grievances. We do not have to do that stuff anymore. Whereas I would say that I do not believe that as long as the staff of the town and the leadership of the town is operating within the budget guidelines we've given them, the directives that we've given the town administration, that we have to, what I would call, I don't want to say micromanage, but effectively double guess or ask the town voters to support what they're doing, where they're not in the day-to-day operations of this, and nor are they professionally, like nobody, or I don't want to say nobody in town, but not many people in town have professional certifications that a lot of our town staff do. And I would trust the certified town staff over.
Okay, thanks.
It's like the most polite way to put that.
So I will say, with all of this happening, Mike and I and Rajan, the three of us talked about making sure we all understand the different roles, because I know that I'm muddy on that. What's the difference between a TA, a strong TA, a town manager? What's the select board's role? What's the FinCom's role? And we actually have documentation on all of that, but I am suggesting we put that in a very near future meeting. And I'm going to go, Adam's on the meeting too. I'm going to go right into also, we're hearing a lot about AB Forward. I've been asked to intervene on behalf of the town, and I have to explain I don't have that right. So again, I'm asking, we're going to bring this up at a future select board meeting, so we all understand our roles and, where we have responsibility, where we don't, when does town meeting have to step in? And I think it's going to help solve a lot of this, even if people just have a document to refer back to. All right. Any other questions about this? Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Okay. Thank you. And thank you for coming in tonight. And congratulations on your first hire. Here's to 3 more. Go make an egg. Go boil. Don't boil it. Poach it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Night.
Next up, Acton Boxford Regional School District Committee update. Adam, are you still here?
I've gotten this update personally. Can I go to bed, please?
Yes, go to bed. Thank you for staying for the
Bye.
lieutenant discussion.
Thank
Good
you, Adam.
night. Thank you. Bring us chocolate.
I will.
Okay.
Light or dark? There's a round robin. Light or dark?
Dark.
Okay. People like it dark. Adam likes it light. Or Sam likes it light.
Sam wants
milk
milk?
chocolate. Milk in my sippy cup. Okay. Done.
Good night. Okay, Adam, you're
All right.
up. Does someone? Okay.
Hi. So I'm sure as many of you heard on our vote last Thursday, at our meeting last Thursday night, we did have a final vote on the AB Forward program, or AB Forward goals and strategy and reorganization. We voted to move forward with option 5V2, which has established a K-3 and 4-6 school at both the Parker Damon and Boardwalk facilities. Blanchard does remain a K-6 school. And in addition to that, the committee voted to implement a geography-based enrollment model for all of our students beginning next year. There was a lot of conversation amongst the committee members around what does this mean for our students in the day-to-day, both in the near term and the long term. We did a lot of discussion around disruption and what does that look like, and then also how to handle those transitions and preserve relationships and make sure that there was support for families and students throughout that transition. I'll say that in the materials that were provided to us, there was a great deal of documentation around both the transition plans primarily the timeline, and in which the school is going to engage with a consultant around the districting and the geography based enrollment. And also, we did receive our preliminary budget presentation from the superintendent. So some quick facts there. First of all, the school's budget is going up by 3.69%. So the overall school budget is increasing by 3.69%. As you might imagine, the standard drivers there for increases is around health insurance, salaries, and a bit more debt service as well. Of note, the superintendent's recommending that we actually reduce our contribution to our OPEB fund. So we've been funding OPEB at a fairly large amount the past few years, and we felt that this was a way to sort of help stem some of the reductions we needed to make. We're still contributing to OPEB, but just not in as a large amount. So the budget that was presented was 1.21 million. Like I said, that's a 3.69% overall increase. The Acton assessment goes up by 3.75. The Boxborough assessment is $17,734,103, or 5.57% increase. And again, that swing is all about enrollment. So if we're seeing fewer kids from Acton and or more kids from Boxborough, it swings in our direction. So the next steps for us are to begin, and there's a whole bunch of support and meetings and Zoom calls that the administration is setting up, both for staff, but also for families. There's going to be some surveys that come out shortly. The AB Forward website has been recently updated with all of this information to let people know what's coming next. But the administration is deep into implementation now. And one of the reasons I would say that we knew we had to take this vote now was because there are budget implications for this year, next year, and there's a great deal of planning and work that needs to get done to make the transition happen for next year. And so we needed to give the administration direction so that they could go and take that action now. Yeah, so that was the big deal for last week's meeting.
It was a big deal. Any questions for Adam while we have him?
Adam, what's the timeline for the implementation process? Like, when do you guys start and when does it end? And like, who are all, like, is there like
yes. So
who's going to be the implementers, right?
Yeah. So we started Friday morning after the vote. The administration has started. They've engaged with consultants, like I said. So it has started immediately. There is in the documentation in our packet a timeline that sort of lays out everything. But basically between now and April is a great deal of the work. And in April, we'll actually be announcing school placements for elementary students. So typically kids would know what schools they're going to, and they wouldn't learn what classrooms they're in until August. And so the administration has pushed that timeline up significantly. So not only by the end of April will you know what school building you're in, but you'll also know what classroom you're in. There's a lot of support around providing tours for students, both towards the end of the year and then sort of early on in the beginning of next year, end of summer. So the timeline is to have all of this in place for the start of school next year.
Tony has his hand up.
I said Tony, but I'm waiting for him to get unmuted. Can I do it?
Okay. Man,
Okay.
can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we got you, Tony.
A budget question, Adam.
Yeah.
Mike told us that he went to a meeting of Maya this weekend and that they've reduced the likely assessment for health insurance from what was going to be 18 to 20% to 12 to 14%. So we're looking at a maximum 14% increase now in health insurance costs for Boxborough. I wonder whether that's the same is true for the school district. I think also on Maya.
The school district is also on Maya. I haven't heard any updates. What I would say is we have in the past few years been doing a lot of detailed budgeting much earlier in the process than usual, which means we don't necessarily have all of the data that we need. And so, we have in addition to sort of finalizing where the healthcare will land, we also have contract negotiations with all three of our bargaining units this year. So, there's still some flux there. I believe that the administration is holding the 18% because our next step in the budget process is our budget workshop on February 9th. Where the school committee will vote a not to exceed number. So we tend to be fairly conservative up until that date to make sure that we're giving you and the towns good information about what we're not going to exceed. And then as we get more information from the governor's preliminary budget, which we haven't seen yet, so we don't know what we're getting per pupil for funding in Chapter 70. We don't have the information from Maya in terms of our actual rates. As those things come in, then things move around, Tony. What I would say is my understanding from Maya and what we heard sort of from the town of Acton as well is that now that we are three separate units, where it used to be Boxborough and then Acton Health Insurance Trust, which carried the schools and the town of Acton, now that we're three different units, we have three different sort of usage levels, I would say, of the insurance. And so, our group might have a different set of usage. The other thing that I would say is that we also carry a fairly large amount of retiree health insurance, which is, I don't remember if we're still with Aetna or if we've moved that to Maya yet, but they are also, their rate increase was double digits as well. So, we've got other health insurance drivers in there because we've got a different subset of folks who are covered.
Any other questions? No?
And just Kristen's
Can you hear me? It says my internet connection is unstable.
Yeah, you're breaking up a bit. Just one last thing that I wanted to add in terms of the discussion for those of you who listened in. This wasn't an easy discussion or vote for the committee, and I know that there are plenty of people in both communities who feel like they weren't listened to and that this is a really bad decision. I would share that equally there are plenty of people in the communities who felt that this was a good decision, and there are plenty of people who are indifferent. And I think it's important to remember that while what precipitated this was some financial challenges between both towns and the schools, the committee, the AB Forward Steering Committee, the administration all have the best interests of the students in mind. And personally, the thing that I was trying to balance the most was how do I make sure that we've got a school system that functions in the long term, even 5 or 10 years out, versus how do we manage what's happening today? I appreciate the support that we've gotten from all of our town leadership. You more than most understand some of the financial challenges that we have. But I also just recognize that there are plenty of people who are very upset and need to work through this, understandably. And the school will be putting resources. So one thing that I didn't mention is, as part of the staffing plan for next year, there are some additional counselors that have been put in our staffing plan, just to recognize that we're going to have some additional needs we foresee in next year and probably years to come.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Thank you, Adam. I really appreciate you coming tonight.
Thanks, everyone. Stay safe.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Adam.
Night.
Bye. Thank you.
Next up, we need to close the special town meeting warrant, but anybody have anything they want to chat about before we do that? Mike, Bob?
I just got one. Everyone can see Carly is on the meeting with us tonight, and for those of us who don't know, Carly works with in the payroll office and the accounting office as the assistant accountant with Hanwha, and I just need to recognize her and congratulate her for stepping up and taking over the payroll into all of the other jobs she's stepped into to help Hanwha in the transition with the treasurer, collector, with everything else. Carly has done a phenomenal job. She's supposed to be part-time. I think she's working 60 hours a week right now, but she's really done a great job. And I just wanted to publicly acknowledge the work that Carly has done.
Thank you, Carly.
Thank you,
How's
Carly.
it going? Can you
I'd like
unmute?
to,
Yeah, I'm gonna unmute her.
while she's becoming unmuted, I'd like to add to Bob's comments. Thank you for that, Bob. Carly is amazing. She is highly intelligent, highly motivated, and she has been such an asset to our team. She has pivoted many times to fulfill the needs of the town. And, Bob mentions that she's taken over payroll. Well, that actually wasn't from Hunghwa. That was actually from the Treasurer Collector's office, and at a time when we needed the assistance there. And payroll will be going back to the Treasurer Collector's office where it belongs. But in the meantime, she has transitioned us from a payroll and accrual software to a new one, which is better and is going to better serve the community and our staff. She's filled a need that we had in that function, as well as all of the accounting roles that she had, and she is amazing. And she's one of those type of people that we want to retain here in Boxborough, because she's a superstar, and we recognize her for that, and we hope she stays with us for the long haul, because she's invaluable.
Carly, how many different roles are you cross-trained in right now? I feel like you are the Jane of all now.
You.
How many?
Learning new stuff every week.
Well, we really, really appreciate it. And if there's anything the select board can do for you, you know to reach out. And thank you so much for taking this on until the treasurer's office, has their legs underneath them.
Thank you. Thank you for the compliments. Thank you.
Of course. Of course. Okay.
Thank you for that, Bob.
Yeah. And for doing it earlier than waiting until later. So thank you, when people are here still. No, the rest of this meeting should be quick. What?
I don't think Carly was here for that reason, because I don't think she knew Bob was going to say anything. And she probably didn't turn her camera on because she didn't think she was going to be called out in this meeting. I'm quite certain. So anyways, thanks for being responsive, and thanks for recognizing our people.
It's like, Carly, you attend a lot of our meetings, which I appreciate, because it means you're kind of up to date with what's going on. And I'm just going to tell you right now, it was a work from home day and I still have my pajama top on. So, if you're not camera ready, I totally get it, because neither am I. Oh, Bob has his pajamas on too? Anyway, thank you. Okay, let's close the town meeting warrant. I move to close the special town meeting warrant.
I'll second
Is there
that.
a second? Second. Any discussion on this? Mike, anything, or Kelly or Rajan, anything we need to know before we move forward?
Nope, we have the 4 articles that are on there, and they have all been discussed, voted by this board, by the FinCom is wrapping up theirs. I think they're just about done with their recommendations. Capital Committee voted their recommendations earlier this evening, and Fire Station Building Committee, of which comprise 3 of the 4 articles, have already done their actions on it. So it's well underway, and I think we're well prepared for this town meeting.
Awesome.
And then, Kelly and I also checked on the link for the QR code for the babysitting sign-up sheet. It works. The link she had put up, that also works. So thank you, Kelly.
Nice. All right. Okay. So we'll have to organize that. Are you and I doing that again, Priya? We were asking the PTF for some help, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. We just haven't heard back yet. Yeah, we do have somebody doing that on our behalf. Okay. But if not, I'm ready to jump in as needed. So, all right. All right. It's been moved and seconded. So roll call vote. The same order. Bob, we'll start with Bob.
Simple I.
Sundaram, I.
Anderson, I.
And Hilberg, I. Okay.
Waiting
All
for
right.
Wes. We could have taken a while.
He's not shopping for chocolate right now.
Yeah.
Now he's sleeping with bells
At
ringing.
3 o'clock in the morning, I hope.
I don't know what goes on over there. Okay. Now, as I read this, special town meeting warrant articles and recommendations, Kelly, I didn't send you mine, but mine is going to be so crazy simple. So I will do that. I haven't written it yet, not going to lie, but I will get that to you so we can get that done. All right. So we already approved the other recommendations and we already approved the articles. So we actually don't need to do anything else, right?
Yeah, well, my only question, Kristen, we have on the agenda discussion, annual town meeting countdown. Is that the next, or we need to talk about that?
Next, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
we do. It says vote to approve and sign the special town meeting warrant and authorize mailing of the warrant. And then it says I move to approve articles, but I think Kelly, didn't we already approve all the articles? What do we have left?
You have Article 3.
Which
Which one is that?
The 20,000.
Can you pull that up?
Sure. Let me do
Thank
that
you, ma'am.
now.
Thank you.
There we go. We got it. Nice job.
Okay. So Priya, do you want to walk us through this since it's your bailiwick?
Yeah, so this is for the closing cost. We felt it wasn't appropriate, like put the closing cost into like the bonding piece and pay an interest on that. And we felt the cost would come somewhere between $12,000 and $14,000 or $15,000, but you could never say how much exactly. So we went a little bit on the conservative side to $20,000 from free cash. So that way, whatever the cost is will get used, and then the remaining will go back into free cash. And if by the town meeting, if we actually know what the exact amount is, we could probably like vote it right before the town meeting as well, like with the exact amount, and like make the motion there right on the floor, I guess. And
Sure. If I remember right, didn't you say last time you led with it? We don't know the exact number, so we didn't want to wrap it into the bonding because if we didn't have an extra dollar, we wouldn't be able to close. And so it was all those
exactly.
reasons
Yes.
for pulling it out. Yeah, you said that in the beginning. Okay. So any further discussion? All right, then I move to approve Article 3 as presented.
Second.
All right, roll call. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, starting with Bob.
Simple I.
Sundaram, aye.
Anderson, I.
And Hilberg, aye. Okay, sounds good.
Kristen, I don't know, like if we need a detailed recommendation for this, or
I can write something simple, or you can, either one of us. I'm working from home tomorrow because school's out again, so.
Okay. Would
my
you
whole
mind?
staff is home. No, I don't mind at all. No, I don't mind at all because, and again, it's for all the reasons we just spoke of. So, okay, easy peasy. Okay. So let's see. Annual town meeting countdown. Kelly, do you have calendars to show us? Your beautiful calendars.
I wonder if we could. I wonder if we could do the annual town meeting draft countdown at the next meeting. That was something that we were actually going to review over the last couple of days, and we're not in town hall. We just didn't get to that. I think it would be better to just review it and bring it back to you in 2 weeks, if that's okay.
Mike, I'm fine doing that. My only question to you is, if we do it in 2 weeks, do you still have time?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
We are open the warrant now, correct? You'd like us to open the warrant, or do you want to put that off also?
No, you can open it now.
Okay.
That way we can start bringing the articles in. I think that makes sense. But I just want to have a chance to. I haven't actually reviewed the draft countdown, and with the conference that was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then town hall being closed today, I just want to take the opportunity to review that calendar.
Sure, absolutely. All good then. All right, I move to open the annual town meeting warrant.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, roll call vote, starting with Bob.
Simple I.
Sundaram, aye.
Anderson, I.
And Hilberg, aye. Let the games begin. That's any idea like how many articles we're going to have this year, Mike, or is it way too early?
Way too early.
All right. Well, usually it's what? Do we know if there's any zoning coming this year? Like, has Alec indicated that there'll be anything major coming from planning board?
Haven't had any indication of anything. So let's hope for 20 articles.
No, we're going to limit it to 10.
What, 5? Okay, sounds good. Well, no, the only reason is we did talk, but we haven't done anything about creating a subcommittee looking at housing needs. And then, one of the ways we can create additional housing, moderately priced housing in town is by looking at our zoning. And it's probably going to have to go in the fall. It'll go in the fall, but that is something that we need to initiate because we were looking at it from an economic development perspective, new growth, creating housing for that pocket that we just don't have right now. So, Mike, what's the best way to go about getting that started? The housing board, I was at the last housing board meeting. They're asking the same question. What do we need to do to kick that off? Would that be just you and Alec talking? Do I need to call Rebecca? What are we doing?
Yeah, why don't I start with a conversation with Alec and start it there, and I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, because if we are going to aim for the special time meeting in the fall, so isn't that when we talked about doing zoning stuff is in the fall?
Yes.
We need to get working on it. So it would be Select Board, Housing Board, FinCom, Economic Development Committee, Planning Board?
Yes.
If we wanted to have a robust conversation. Okay. And then we have to decide who's leading it.
Yeah, and Kristen, just so you'll know, as you know, and a couple other people know, I was at the MMA and they had 4 or 5 sessions about this, and even talking to other select boards, Townsend and Tisbury down on the island, and Chelsea, and on and on and on. And I talked to 5 or 6 different communities, 10 different. They're all having the same exact issue. They've got $1 million homes and they got $200,000 homes, and they got nothing in the middle. And so it's not unique to Boxborough, and I'm not dismissed. I'm not saying we don't need to address it, but if there's any solace, we're not the only one in Massachusetts that is suffering with this housing shortage. And even I think it was the lieutenant governor who got up and spoke at one of the sessions, and they said we just need more houses. We just need more houses, and we gotta get the construction industry somehow to get on board, and that comes from the state to give them incentives to do it. And so I agree with you. We need to talk about it. But I also want to just say it's not just us. There's a lot of other towns that are suffering with the same issue.
And there's a big impact. We're losing that demographic. Let's just say it's the 20 to 40-year-olds that they're going to leave Massachusetts. We're losing them. We're losing people that could be police officers to nuclear engineers, and surgeons and anything in between. So I do think it's important that we address it, do our part.
It was interesting what the lieutenant governor had to say about that. That they're looking at ways to get manufactured housing and design plans that can be expedited through permitting process, because before a builder comes in to build them, if they've already got the plans engineered from a manufacturer, and they can get pre-approved so that the builder knows what they're getting into, and the builder themselves doesn't have to get held up with the permitting process, and other ways to expedite permitting. So it'll be interesting to see and this was conceptual, what she was talking about, but it made a lot of sense. So look forward to that, and I'll start that discussion tomorrow with Alec, and then and then loop you in.
Yeah, I mean, because you guys, I'm putting a single lot in Boxborough under agreement. It's supposed to be signed tonight, but it'll be signed tomorrow for $450,000 just for the land.
Right.
It's an end user. But a builder would have to get $2 million for that house to make a profit between all of the things. Like, everyone thinks builders are rolling in it. The amount of costs they have, inherent costs they have, is extraordinary. So we just have to be really cognizant of that.
And I think to your point, Kristen, what a lot of the people were saying was exactly that. It's it's complicated and you can go down the rabbit hole real quick.
Yeah.
But as far as the construction costs, that's why the contractor's got to sell it for $2 million just to cover his costs of the material.
To make a reasonable profit. Yeah.
And that's the problem. The material costs to build a house on site is just astronomical now. And that's why, as Mike just said, they're looking at prefab houses. That's what they're talking about. They're going back to prefab houses and putting them back up because the costs are cheaper that way. So we'll see what the state how the state can help us.
There were quite a few kit houses from the 50s in Boxborough. One was across the street from me. There were a couple on Old Harvard Road. It's kind of interesting. But no, the bigger thing for us is our zoning. With 150-foot frontage, an acre and a half minimum, it just really drives. The land costs drive everything. So, because that's where you make your money, is when you buy your land. Okay. See, well, we've kind of been doing reports and announcements. Bob, did you have anything you want to tell us about the conference? Sounded like a really good one.
Yeah, there was. With the conference was really good. Other than being at a hotel down the street, it was deadly cold walking from the hotel to the conference.
Oh, I want everybody to know. I told Bob to park in the garage. He saved us money last year by parking in the street, and I said, absolutely not. I'm not paying for the tow truck. Park in the garage. So, Mike, when you get his expense report, Kristen said park in the garage.
Thank you for that.
They're trying to save us $40. I'm like, absolutely not.
and I can show you the temperature when I got to my car. Even though it was in the garage, it was still 4 degrees. It was still 4 degrees in my car, so it was cold. It really was. But no, the conference was really good. There was a large reception. There was a lot of people going. Also, Rajan was there as well. He's here, and it was a lot of interesting talks. And it's always interesting to talk with you, Carl. I was talking to a select board member from Natick, and then I was talking from a select board member from Townsend, and then another one from Groton. And it's really interesting. And as I kind of expected, a lot of the trials and tribulations, I'll call them, that we have, all the small towns and even the medium-sized towns are having the same issues. It really is, and we're not that worse off than any of the other towns. I mean, every time, we have budget, everyone's talking about 2.5 override. Everyone's talking about hard times. Towns have actually laid off public service. I won't go into the details, but they laid off firefighters. They laid off police officers. And, it becomes, who is, quote, less valuable, and that's a bad question to ask. That really is a bad question to ask. And so a lot of people were talking about 2.5, and some people were able to avoid them like we were, and for this year. But a lot of people said, as I said, all we're doing is kicking it down the road. So I think we've got to be, as we are, and with the FinCom and everyone else, all the department managers, they've been helping with fiscal management, and it was good. But then the other ones that we're talking about, the state was there, and the state is trying to help and kick in, extra money and extra ideas, as I mentioned about the housing. And one of the things that the two members from Congress were there. I forget who they were now. Anyways, from Washington, they were there and they spoke. And then we got back to the lieutenant governor, and they're saying, we used to be able to help the towns because we knew how much we were going to get from the federal government. Well, because of the current administration in Washington, they don't know what they're going to get from the federal government anymore. So they're being very cautious as far as what they can pass out to the town. And yet, they've been able to up it. Maura Healey has been able to up and get some bills passed. So it was really great conference to attend for the 1.5 days that I was there, and it was it was interesting to hear other towns talking about the same stuff. So that's it.
Talk about the ballot question, reducing sales tax.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Sam, you had mentioned it to me. What do you know about it? Anything?
The ballot measure to lower the sales tax?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it proposes to lower it from 5% to 4%.
Wasn't it 6.5?
It got scaled down to 5 between 1990 and 2020 or so. And it kept ticking down at 1/20%. So it's at 5 now. It's like the High Tech Council and a couple of other of sort of anti-tax Beacon Hill groups are behind it. And my impression is that it will be on the ballot.
In the fall, in this fall?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting. Okay.
I don't know the guys behind it, but I'm certain.
I didn't hear any conversation about that at all at any of the meetings I went to.
Yeah, it's about a $4 billion hole it would blast in the state budget.
That's probably why no one talks about it.
So Sam and I had a quick conversation about other stuff this weekend, and he mentioned it. And it's like, okay, we probably all need to be paying attention to this, because if the sales tax goes down, local receipts, state support goes down, and we're all further screwed. So
yeah, I'm sure the MMA I'm sure they talked about what is it, the 365 million that they're asking for. Yeah, so last year was the first year that anyone could really remember where UGA was level funded year over year, which was pretty remarkable. But it just shows that the budget it's similar to our budget. It's not, revenues aren't growing as quickly as obligations are.
No, and the other thing, Chris, I wanted to mention, and I'll let Mike actually get into the details. Mike was there with me. As far as the MMA, we voted as a member town on the new rates, and as Adam mentioned that Mike had already discussed with him, the rates are going down from the initial assessment that Mike and Rajan put in for the budget. I believe they put in 20%. And it looks like it can go down to maybe down to 14%. So that's a good that was the biggest smile of the whole weekend for everybody to hear for the health insurance.
Yeah. So on that one, so we had been carrying 20% increase from last year on the health insurance because they had given us a range of 18 to 20%. And they announced that the highest amount was going to be 14.4. So we reduced that in ClearGov today and reflected that $95,000 decrease in FY27 budget for next year. So that was good news, and it could come down further. So the 14.4 is the high end for for all municipalities that participate in Maya, and we'll find out in mid-February what Boxborough's particular rate is, and that's driven by history. And we do have some high claims from last year. But I'm sure others do as well. So we'll see. But we know we're going to be 95,000 less than we had planned. So that's good news.
I'm just going to jump in and say, did you know that we had 3 new babies in town? That three staff members had babies, or their families did. I'm so excited. So that's a happy reason, right, to have our health insurance go up a little bit. Is that right? Cancer survivors, it's all good, right? Anyway,
I don't want to know how you know that, Chris.
Because I asked Mike, I was like, well, what were the high cost things? And it was 3 babies and 2 cancer treatments, and the cancer people are surviving and the babies are alive and well. And that's all really good news, right? That means our health insurance is going for good things. That's good.
Okay, good.
Okay. Yeah. Mike, while we were talking about, you just talked about updating ClearGov. Why don't you update us on the meeting that we had today regarding COLA?
Yes. So in the personnel plan, it lays out how the COLA gets recommended for non-union, non-contract employees. How that recommendation comes from the town to town meeting. And what it says is that the chair of the select board, chair of the finance committee, chair of the personnel board, and the town administrator get together once a year and review a couple of things. One is a document prepared by the personnel board, which they did. They've reviewed over the last month or so, as well as comparable community data, which what John has prepared. And, based on that, and a number of other factors, including, our desire to improve retention and recruitment. We talked about what the COLA is going to be for those employees, and the four of us voted unanimously to recommend 3% COLA for our non-union, non-contract employees. And then Alan is going to arrange with Tony to go and present in front of the FinCom the data that he presented to us today. And Kristen and Rajan and I will go meet at that same time, and we'll present that discussion to the Finance Committee. And then, hopefully they will agree with the vote that we took today, and then take it to town meeting.
So just so you know, the reason I was a proponent, so first of all, the Personnel Board did an amazing job pulling together data that they were able to share with us. And they were a little bit under 3% in terms of the data. But what, my feeling was that everybody in a union is getting 3% cost of living increase this year. And I didn't think it was right to tell people on the personnel plan that they weren't as valuable as the people in the unions. So I felt very strongly, it's a short dollar amount. You guys know I'm a rounder. I have $6,000 in my head, but it was such a small dollar amount relative to our overall budget that to in any way tell people in the personnel plan that they were less than did not seem right to me. And yes, I know it's a tough budget year and the FinCom might not agree with us or me, but it just seemed like this wasn't the year to pounce on pennies.
Kristen, Tony was with you, right? Or was he not?
Yes, he was.
What was his stake?
He voted for the 3% also, but the FinCom still has to go back to the FinCom.
Yeah.
They'll get to see it. Hoping they're supportive of it, and then it'll come back to us for further discussion as necessary. But do know that was the rationale. It just didn't seem right to me to say that we're less than or not as valuable.
Mike, can you, off the top of your head, what is the percentage of people that would be affected by this? As far, is it 20% that are not covered by contract? Is it 50% that are not covered by union by contract, whether it be the union or whether it be a personal contract?
I don't know the number, but I would say 20%.
Of the overall town employee, about 20% would be affected by this.
Yeah, and maybe it's even less than that, but yeah, and Kristen's right. It was, the impact to the budget was not. So what we have budgeted already is 2.5%. That's what we had planned on, and we voted unanimously to up that to 3% for all the the reasons stated, and that difference in what is already in the budget, in ClearGov, and raising it to 3% that we are recommending today was about $6,700.
Oh, really? That's it?
That's it.
Yeah, wow, that's why I just didn't think it was to pick over that. Yeah.
Yeah, the $6,700 to go from 2.5% to 3% for all the people that would be affected by this.
Correct.
Wow,
yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. And Mike had just given us the good news about health insurance. So I'm like, well, had a little windfall. Let's share it back a little bit. So
yeah, you get 95,000, you pass out 6,800. So that's a good deal.
So now if anybody disagrees, feel free. I did, but that's where the rationale came from. All right. Any other reports and announcements? I kind of already reported on Housing Board. Priya, did you have anything else for Fire Station?
Yes, we as I talked about, we have the listening session / forum on Wednesday, the 28th, 11 a.m. at the Grange, both in person and Zoom, and also at 7 p.m. in person and Zoom. We also have a booth at the Steel Farm Winterfest on the 31st, 1 to 4
Be
p.m.
packed. They have snow.
I know.
That's actually, I was going to bring that up. It's this Saturday, and they're talking about snow on Saturday, So.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully, it's later. The snow is later. We don't know. So, but we are planning to be there.
Yep.
And then the pre-town meeting is going to be for the annual town meeting. Will be on February 23rd. I think the some of the social media posts have to be worked upon for the upcoming events. So we will be. I think we need to like kind of clean them up and make sure that it's easy to post and it's colorful and all that. So Christian, maybe you can help with that, along with Mike and Rajan. I think those were the main things coming up, leading up to our town meeting. And I think Mary is going to be coming up with the presentations for the listening session, and then we will probably take talking points from that for like the Winterfest, as well as for the pre-town meeting. It'll be a little bit more divided into, we are having like 4 tables, so we will have a little bit more details with renderings and other things there. So
cool. Sam, do you have anything?
I don't think so.
Well, it's been a quick couple of weeks, so yeah. Bob, besides the well, it has. It's like I feel like we were all just here a minute ago. So, yeah. Bob, what do you got besides the conference?
The conference, and then the Winterfest was the big one. That is, the Winterfest is going to be on Saturday, and it looks like the snow is coming on Sunday, so I think we're going to be okay. They talked about the personnel board. What else is going on? That's really it. Oh, just the COA and the Mart service is going well. The Mart service unfortunately has not been running yesterday or today, and it's not going to run again tomorrow because of snow.
Hey, have you heard anything? I saw something somewhere that Boxborough's received $250,000 to create shelters for public transportation.
Yes.
You know anything of? Okay. That you just made me think of that, Bob. Mike, do you want to? I can't remember why I know this.
Yes. So I have to get this confirmed, but this is a grant that Alec worked on quite a while back, and Boxborough was the lead community on this, and Acton was interested in joining with us on it, and it was to get 5 bus stop shelters for our Boxborough Connects route. And this is a federal grant, and
really? Are you sure?
Did they miss it? Maybe George didn't look at it.
10 was in their pocket at the time.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
So we had we thought that bus had passed us, and we were no longer in the running. Yeah. And so Alec texted me while I was at the conference on Friday, or I think it was Friday or Saturday, and said, "Hey, it looks like we might have got it. I have to confirm this, but it looks like we're going to get that grant that we put in. We had written it off."
To me then. Okay. That's like somebody told me. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So we don't have final confirmation on it, but it was one that back at the time when he put it in, we were hopeful, with the new bus route and everything, and then we just hadn't heard anything, and we hadn't seen Congresswoman Trahan in a while, so we hadn't heard, and all of a sudden it came through, and like, wow. So we'll get that confirmed.
It's to build 5. So $50,000. Wow, $50,000 for a bus stop structure.
Well, yeah, because have you seen one?
Holy
They just built one on Mass Ave in front of the junior high. And
I haven't seen it.
It's a bus. Yeah, where it's that new, it's right where the entrance to the high school is. That's that new inlet with all the construction. And it's solar powered now. Now it's got a solar panel on the roof, and it's got lights in it. So it's all.
Do you think it's heated?
No heat. No.
Can we put ads on it?
We are, no, yes, yeah, so you can put ads on it, you can do everything you want, I mean, yeah, exactly, we can put
We
town
can
stuff.
sell, we can sell the ad space
Right, see, exactly, we can sell, it's a win-win. And then the other thing I want to mention on regarding that, Mike, George can jump in. People should know, and hopefully people still watching, or they'll watch, that the food pantry is officially moving, and their grand opening is February 2nd.
Where to?
They're moving to Maple Street in Acton. So if you look at it, it's from where it is in Boxborough at the corner of Summer Road. It's moving to the back side of the train station in Acton. You've got to go over the bridge on 27 and take a right, and it'll be the first building on the right-hand side there that's where it is. And Wendy and Kim, and the community service people and Amy are going to be putting out flyers and emails and everything else about it. They met with the people from the Acton Food Pantry, and they're working out coordination, getting that publicized. There's going to be a little bit of change, and I don't really know all the details, but it's going to be by appointment only now. You've got to register when you can go down and pick up the food, but I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. So wait for the details to come out from our people who know at the town hall. Again, Wendy and Kim and Amy will be the contact. But that new building is opening up on February 2nd, which is a Monday, and it's a much larger facility. They're able to store more food, and so therefore they'll be able to service more of the community of Acton and Boxborough.
Kristen, sorry, I forgot a couple of other announcements. Is that on February 11th and February 28th, the fire station is having an open house. So
fun. Okay, cool. Becky,
unmute.
Somebody
I still can't figure out how to do it. If anybody else knows, there.
It was me who shared that with you. It was a select board member from Acton posted it.
Yeah.
Well, it was a select board member from Acton posted it. Legislation passed. Trahan secures House passage of an additional $7.5 million for third district projects, $250,000 for the city of Boxborough's shelter bus stops.
We made it.
So anyway, it's on the Acton parent page in Facebook if anybody wants to see it, but it's way back because she posted it like 4 days ago.
Awesome. Well, I think it's funny. What's up, Bob?
So Becky, that's the 250,000 that Mike was talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, because the federal government thinks we're a city.
Yeah, well, because that's how much time Lori Trahan spends here. But
Hey, they can call us anything. They want to give us $250,000.
No, I think it's great. All right, anything else, everybody? All right, not bad. 9:30.
I have two announcements.
Oh, sorry, Mike, I skipped you. Sorry.
No, that's all right. The first one is that our police chief and library director are sponsoring an event tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the library. And that's where Werner Salinger, who was a Holocaust survivor and U.S. veteran, will be coming to speak to the community. The library will be open, and I will be attending that event and not finance committee tomorrow night. I think this is a very, very important event. So I think that'll be good. And the second thing is the Motorola Rave program that the town has invested in, which is basically a reverse 911 type of a system for the town, is now active. And advertising is going out this week for people to self-select onto getting the messaging they want in the ways that they want about the programs, departments, and announcements that they want. That'll be going out this week, and we should all be encouraging people to go in and select those so they can get the information that they want to receive from the town. And that's all.
How is it going to go out, Mike? How is it going to go out?
I don't know. I just got that from the fire chief, but he's on right now. He can answer the question.
Yep, he's here.
I was just going to send you a text.
Sorry, thank you. No, Mike, thank you for making that announcement. So it's somewhat difficult because what we need to do is we need to get the link out. So there's going to be a URL that, and I want to just say right now, Kelly Price has been very, very helpful with all of this. So she's going to help. We got some infographics from Motorola today that we're going to try to utilize to get it out there. But we need to go on the websites. We need to go on the Facebook pages. It'd be helpful if at the start of any of the meetings coming up, if your meeting, if we could make the announcements to go to the website, to go to the social media sites and find that link and then click on the link and begin the registering program, the registering part of it. And then once you're in, you'll be able to select whether you want to receive messages via text, email, or phone, or all three. When you register, you will register automatically for all the emergency notifications. And then we made a list of all non-emergency types of notifications that you can receive. For instance, the town administration and select board have their own messaging platform. So if there's anything that needs to come from the TA's office or from the select board, you'll have the opportunity to send messages out to people who have opted into your specific messaging group. It's taken a little bit longer than we anticipated. We had to get every single town employee uploaded telephone numbers, emails, and then creating the groups and creating the admins for the groups. But again, it's going to be hopefully getting the information up on the websites this week, and everyone will have an opportunity to go in and opt in.
Awesome. So, can you email that to all of us, John? I mean, it's no secret. I send a postcard to every house in town every month. That is going to be the big thing on my postcard that goes out next week. So if you can send me the graphics, send me the link, send me everything, at least we know it's going to get delivered to every household.
That'd be a huge help, because that's one of the things Motorola recommended. They said if there were mailings that went out from town hall, but that's even
I mean, it's no
That's great.
secret. I send one out every month, so
No,
I
that'd
may
be
as
very
well
helpful.
just throw
That'd
it
be
there.
Very, very helpful. Thank you so much.
It's not me; it's my business. Yes.
And can we make sure that Rajan, you put it in the front page of our website, just right front and center, like really blaring at us, right?
Can it
I make
go
it
in
as
the,
easy as possible.
Can it go in the town meeting warrant that gets mailed out?
That's a good idea too.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Sam. That's a good idea. Chief, who is responsible for administering that? Is it you?
Currently, we have for emergency notifications. There's 4 of us. It's myself, Chief Shefchik, Lieutenant Patriarca, and Captain Gray. All have the ability to go in and do the emergency notifications. Kelly is also a domain admin, if you will. I'm not sure if she has the capability of doing it as well, but for all of the other non-emergency groups, she has the ability to be a co-host of that group and be able to send things out if, like, the town clerk weren't able to, or if I have Rajan and Mike as the admins for the town administration group and for town hall updates. So in the event that they weren't able to, Kelly has super user powers, if you will, to get in there and put messages out for people.
Okay, so all right.
Rave, R-A-V-E?
Yes, it's Motorola Rave.
What does that mean? Like, does it stand for anything, or it's just a rave?
I wish it did. I have no.
Okay, because I'm like rave. Okay, all right.
It's just it's just like, I really, I'm really not sure.
No, that's great. Yeah, that's great, Chief. As far as it's not just one person, it's multiple people depending upon what they're quote in charge of. So
yeah, Bob, we tried to put as many like checks and balances into this thing as possible to make sure that if people needed to get messages out, that we'd have ways to do it, so it wasn't just relying on one person.
Yeah, so there wouldn't be a backlog, or if someone went on vacation, nothing would go out.
Exactly.
But this is for emergencies. This isn't for
it's everything.
Random announcements.
So when you log in, you're going to automatically get emergencies. You can choose for instance, if you had a major interest in the library, you could click on the library and you could receive updates from the library if they were having, like, tomorrow night's event. Payshawn would be able to put out that they're having that event at the library, and you'd be in the know about that. But the whole idea of the opt-in for these is that those messages, if we were just sending messages out all the time, it kind of drowns out the emergency messages.
Yeah,
If
so
you-
like I get like 50 messages from the school every single day, and they're just like I can't read them. I don't even see them. So like
Right.
yeah, that
the
would
only
be
the only
Karen.
messages you're going to get are going to be the ones you signed up for.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Now, but you don't sign up for the emergency because the emergency already come automatically, right?
Once you register, you can't pick the other groups without the emergency being an automatic default.
Right. Good. Perfect.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Anything else? Minutes, then. We can move on to minutes. You all have a chance to read the January 12th. Boy, it feels much more recent than that. The January 12th minutes. Anything, any amendments?
Nope. I saw them, I read them, and they look fine to me. Nice job who's doing it now. If the same person, they really are doing a great job. They're clear and precise. So I didn't see any edits, not this time.
Okay. I move to approve the minutes of January 12th, 2026 as presented.
Second,
Roll call vote, starting with Bob.
Snapple eye.
Sundaram, I.
Anderson, aye.
And Hilberg, aye. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote, starting with Bob.
Snapple eye.
Sundaram, I.
Anderson, aye.
And Hilberg, aye. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for persevering
Thank you.
through Zooms. So.
Good night.